All right, guys, back for another week of shed hunting here in 2024. My name is Evan Denyer, but for this video, always remember to keep an eye out for the giveaway shed. It's always found pretty quickly, so like I'll pin the winning comment in the bottom. Just remember that if there's a comment that's pinned in the comment section, that means somebody has already won. We'll see what this week brings. You know, you're not going to find any sheds sitting on the couch. Let's go. Been walking this farm for a little bit here. Just came up with the first find here today. This is a deadhead. It looks like in kind of a weird spot here. Like, I don't know. I don't quite understand this one, but pull this one up now. Huh. This has got to be an antler. It is an antler. Let's go. We just found that deadhead like 50 yards behind me. Let's go. Look at this. You betcha. Yes. First one of the day right there. It's a beautiful sight when you come walking around the cedar and you see this. There we go. Nice fresh one, huh? Chewed up a little bit. Busted off here. It's got like a little chunk of his skull there with it, but nice find. Nice little, what would score as a 2-point. I'm gonna call it a 3-point. Maybe we'll find another weird spot for a deadhead. I can see a deadhead across the pond all the way up on that hill by the bean field. Weird. Well, I finally made it around to where this deadhead was. Coming up on it now, it looks pretty nice. Yeah, it's not bad. 10-point right there. Looks like what happens here is it was drug off. Because there's no other body parts around. That's definitely what had to happen, is it got drug off by a coyote. So I don't know where it came from, but there it is now. Huh, I'll be damned. Walking a nice little spot here right off the road. Nice south facing slope, and I look over to my left and there's a little buck, itty bitty thing. Monster. Well, it's been a good minute here, but just came up on another one. Nice 5-point here from this year. Good deal. Still got good color. Definitely looks pretty fresh. Here we are, we're in the second farm here today, and this spot I'm looking right now is awesome. It looks great. It looks absolutely fantastic. But it's kind of in a weird spot, so like I'd actually be a little surprised if I found a shed here. But if you have this type of spot on a south-facing slope, what this looks like right here on a south-facing slope close to a good food source, I can about guarantee you're gonna find a shed. But right now, this is overlooking a corn field that was chopped for silage. We're just gonna check this real quick, and then we're gonna go over to the other section of this farm that's more timber. It's really gotten green, you know, with these warm temps that we had in March and February this year. The grass seems like it's a lot taller than what it was this time last year. Got another deer that's likely a victim of EHD right here off this pond. All right, guys, today's March 23rd, and we are gonna be shed hunting 2 farms here today. 2 of my favorite farms to shed hunt. Absolutely love these farms. They're both farms that I actually already hit earlier in the year, but in the past couple of years, I've hit them twice in the year. Once like in early February, once in later March. And what I've ended up finding is I find more antlers the second time I hit them. But I hit them twice because I don't want anybody to beat me the first time. Last time I was here, I think I found like 7. And I'm hoping maybe we'll find some more here today. Beautiful day to be out. There's a dead deer, unfortunate. Midday update. We are not any closer to finding our first antler. Or I don't think it's because somebody looked between the last time I was here or not, because the deadheads that I found last time I was here are still here. So I think it might just be that, you know, there's just not as many deer that are in this area this year due to, you know, EHD and some of the local food sources that have changed up this past year, so that's all right. On the second farm here today, have not found a shed yet. They just come up on a deadhead here. It's too bad. Looks like a little deer. There's just a creek right over here, right over that pump. Well, not too far from where I just found that other one. Got ourselves another doe right here. Oh, look at this. Look how this deer got caught up. Man, that's too bad. It actually looks like a buck. A little buck, but it's a buck. Right here in the creek. Came up on another deer dead right here. Little one though. Not far from me. I just found that buck. And I can see all the way down that bottom right there that there's a dead deer. So I was looking at the binos, trying to see if there was a head. Couldn't see the head with it, but I walked another 15 yards. There's another dead deer right here. This one's a buck. This is unfortunate. Just in this little section that we've looked, we found quite a few dead deer. And that's when you don't want to find dead right there. Oh gosh. Wow. This is going to sound crazy, but 2 years ago I found a shed that's like pretty far from here. But gosh, that resembles the shed I found like 2 years ago. That has to be the same deer. The way that 5-point comes off its head. I only shed hunt this farm, so I don't run cameras or anything, but I'd have to think that that's off that's the same deer that I found the shed off of 2 years ago. And if you look right here, it looks like this isn't even attached to the antler, so it could have been considered a unicorn. Huh. Well, here we are. This is the deer I was looking at earlier. Doe. There we go, guys. We got ourselves another dead deer right there. A little spike. Too bad. No kidding. And there's one right over here. Look at this. Right here's another one. Hate to see it. Well, I'll be damned. We just came up on the first antler today. Let's go. Old one that broke off during fighting. And actually, I didn't check this section of the farm last year. They must have busted off during the rut last year. All right, guys, we're out for another day of shed hunting here. This is a farm that I've shed hunted in past years. I'm confident in holding off till later on this farm, but the only problem is that it's just in that area where we've been finding a lot of dead deer. So I wouldn't be surprised if we find a few more, and maybe the sheds just aren't there this year. But we're still gonna give it a shot, and we'll go from there. So stay tuned. Haven't found one in a while, but I came up through this area that the landowner did a controlled burn last year in this area. And I'm surprised because what happened was I come up along here and I see tines right there. Look at that. That's a big old one right there. Holy cow. Huh. Wow, I don't recognize that deer. Not that I should. Boy, oh boy, wow. Look at the base on that thing. Whew. Whoa, I know what deer this is off of. Yes, sir, I know exactly what deer this is off of. This shed is really old. Holy cow. This shed is off of a deer that I was finding sheds to before I was even making YouTube videos of shed hunting. That's insane. 5 or 6 years ago, I found this deer dead. He died from EHD. It was along this creek bottom. It was further up along that timber right there. The year prior to that, I found one side off of him. It looked a lot like this. It was a shorter G2, tallest tine was a G3. His G4 was always good, and he always had a really, really big base on him. So I found one side off of him the year prior to finding him dead. The year prior to that was the first year that we could shed hunt this, and our buddy Gary was out here from PA. He was shed hunting with us. He found one side off of this deer, from that year. We didn't find the other side. And then my dad found an old one off of this deer. Now, we didn't realize all of this at that time because it's just a farm that we shed hunt. Once I found the shed the next year, and then I found the deer the year after, it was like it all came together. It was like, this is all the same deer. And this is definitely off this deer. This is probably the match side to the side that Gary found, or it might have been a year prior, but that's definitely a stud. Holy smokes. And he didn't break any of his tines. I mean, they're not even chewed. I've got about as much of a history as you can have with a deer that you don't hunt. You know, found multiple sheds off of him and ended up finding him dead. So that just adds to the story. But that one is like, I swear that's bigger than the one that I found. And the one I found was big, but that's impressive. This is a shed my dad found in 2017. You can see it was old when he found it. And then that same year, Gary found a shed off of this buck, or I'm like 99% it's off of this buck. But that was 2017. Then 2018, next year, I found this shed, fresh obviously, within close distance. Has a really awesome base, but then never found the other side. And then I ended up finding him dead the next year. And then this year in 2024, I found this. And that is gonna be off that buck. There's a couple characteristics here. So you can see how his tip of his main beam tips up like that. Same area. And then what happens is this year he has that like curled brow tine, but on the deadhead, he has 3 brow tines, and it looks just like this. He has one coming off here, and then he has a split that comes off right here, just like that. So, found this one in 2017, found this one in 2018, found this one in 2024, but I think that these are consecutive years off this deer. So that's pretty cool. We're back at it here, March 27th, here after work. Shed hunting a farm that I actually already shed hunted earlier this year, but there's just a couple small spots that I haven't hit yet. So that said, it made me want to come back, walk a couple of the spots that I felt like I didn't hit after going back and looking at the map, and then maybe hit a couple of the good spots that we've already hit earlier and see if there's a new shed there or not. I guess we'll find out. There's only one reason that I'm seeing this one today of all days, and it's because it's cloudy out, but you can see it right there. And it's just because you can actually see that there is like a path right here. And this one looks like it was probably old. Yeah, it's old. Oh. No way. That's off the Tootsie Roll buck. That absolutely has to be off the Tootsie Roll buck. I mean, I got pictures of the Tootsie Roll buck the first year that we hunted it, which was 2 years ago, and then I got pictures of the Tootsie Roll buck last year. But this looks just like him, how his main beam wraps around right there. I mean, that's like identical to what the Tootsie Roll buck's like. And I'll go back and check on compare it to the antlers I found off of him. You know, just starting to hunt this farm 2 years ago, this would make sense that this is a shed off of the Tootsie Roll buck from like 3 or 4 years ago. So I'm happy we found it, but it's got me thinking right now, because just up over this knob right here of where I'm looking, I found an old one last year and I didn't put 2 and 2 together. I'm gonna have to go back and see what that shed looked like, because I want to say it was definitely a 4-point, but it might have been the other side of this one, and I just didn't put it together that was the Tootsie Roll buck. I'll go back and check, but either way, I'm happy we got that. That's super cool. We now have 5 sheds off of him. I just came up on another one here. Second one today. Right there. You betcha. How about it? Oh, boy. Oh, man. I know what deer this is off of. We actually found the other side. Or I should say, I found the other side earlier this year. Up around that bank up there. So not that far from here. Nice deer, nice 10-point, but that G3 here that's chewed off was just as tall as this G2. It's a nice deer that I'm hoping we'll see next year. I was a little surprised he dropped his antlers over in this area this year. And now, even though I wish I'd have found it before it got chewed, I'm glad we found it this year and not next year. But hopefully we can find some more. So that's 2 after work. You can't beat it. Work, and we're gonna go out shed hunting here, and it's actually a new farm that it's gonna be the first time I've shed hunted it. And it's a farm that actually has been shed hunted by a couple other people already this year. And the landowner said it'd be okay to go out and look. I just had to wait till these other people went and shed hunted it first. Maybe I'll get lucky and maybe they missed something. It's just worth a shot at this point because there's really not a lot of places that haven't been hit already. All right, guys, this is awesome. I was just coming down over this bank right here. Boom. There it is. Look at that. Right here is an awesome shed off of a buck I was really hoping to find. Yes. That is awesome. Found his other side earlier this year. Had a split G2. Like I said, I'm shed hunting a new farm that borders up to that farm. And that thing looks sweet. Man, he's chewed up pretty good. But that's expected, especially in the open timber here at this time of the year. That's really nice though. He's a really young deer, and actually he was injured this year. He walked around with a limp, so I'm hoping he makes a recovery. He does, you know, he sticks around for next year, maybe the year after. But that is an awesome shed to find. I'm really happy we did. That just made this whole day worth it. I can't believe that. I'm glad that they missed it, but I could see how they could. You know, if they hit this timber on a sunny day or whatnot, and kind of laying down right here between two logs, so can't really fault anybody for missing that. But I'm glad they did. Excited. I was just up here. I worked my way back down into here. There's a nice path going to my right, and look what I see right here. Yes, yes, I know exactly what buck that is. Hell yeah, that's Turbo. That's the other side off of Turbo. Boom. Heck yeah. And he's not even chewed that bad. Let's go. Man, look at that. Awesome split brow tine, kicker off the 2. If you guys remember, I found his other side earlier this year. So the 2 sheds that I really wanted to find, or I was like optimistic that maybe I'd find one if I was lucky, I've just found both of them. Wow. I'm really happy that I got permission to shed hunt this year. So that's the second year in a row that I've matched Turbo up. He's grown quite a bit. He's a nice deer. Passed on him a couple times this year. Can't believe he's not chewed that bad. He's still got his color really well. I'll look around a little bit more. But the 2 antlers I really wanted to find, I can't believe it. I found it in not even an hour. That's absolutely nuts. The odds of that happening are like super slim. I guess those guys must not be too thorough. I knew this would happen. This food plot is freaking dynamite, and we didn't find one out in this food plot. This one was from the 4-wheeler. Pretty cool. Just a little guy. But I figured we'd see like a little one out here at some point. Just, it's pretty hard if you're not like high and looking above it. I just happened to get lucky today and see it. But there you go. So like we're still here on the second farm. Sun came out, but I can use the 4-wheeler here on this farm. This is really cool because I'm like, I've just found that little one out here in the turnips, and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep looking in the turnips for little ones. And it didn't take that long, and I just found another one. Look. Let's go. Just a little guy. You can see my tracks right here. I drove right over it. But I was like, what? That looked white. And I turned back and was like, that's a pedicle. Let's go. Let's see how little it is. Yo! Monster! Gosh, that is a stud. That's like, I don't know, 4 inches of stud right there. That's a cool antler. I'm happy with that one. I really, holy cow, look right here. Look. Yes! How about it? Another little guy. Let's go. The only reason you can see is because it's between these turnips and radishes. And as we're getting here into April, what we're finding, these sheds are starting to bleach out real nice, and they become a lot easier to see. You know, if he dropped that and it was a darker antler, I mean, that's not going to be the easiest antler to see. Same with the little spike. But now that it's been down for probably a month or 2, you know, it's gonna be bleached out, and hey, there's 2 more. That makes 3 antlers on this food plot. I don't care if they're big or small. I like fresh ones, and actually I think the smallest ones, like these really small ones, are just as cool to find as the really big ones. Saturday, March 30th, going out for what might be the last day shed hunting this year. I don't know yet. I'm heading out on a farm here with my buddy Daniel. I'm really excited. I've been patiently holding this one off for a while, and hopefully we can find quite a few here. Yes, this has to be one. Let's go. First one today. Let's go. Right here. Really good spot that's been good for past years. I've always found antlers close by. It's the first one today. Pretty cool little 3-point, 4-point here. Coming right down out of that bedding area, or was just transitioning through from one direction to the other. So I'm really happy with that. Well, just came up on the second find today. It's this little button buck. Huh. This is already the 4th deer I found dead. No button buck. Dang. And then he just called and said that he found one. So I made my way back towards him here. Definitely one of the best spots here on this top. It just always seems to be good for a shed, so we'll see what he got. Oh boy. Wow. Yeah, that's a hefty skull right there. All right, let's see this antler. Nice. Nice. Look at the base on that.
Oh, it's heavy. Being chewed.
He dropped it in a nice spot for us right here. That's a weird looking tentacle. Good deal. This top has always been good for one, so.
Hopefully the other half's up here.
Well, we're zigzagging this top here. So we just found that big one, or that heavy one. And we finally came up on the second one. I don't know if this is the other side or not.
Look at the croc head.
Maybe he had a croc on his head. Huh. That's crazy. What? What? What?
I don't know.
What is this?
I thought it was a shoe at first.
Dude, I wonder if this thing had like this thing on its antler. I don't run cameras here this year. I didn't run cameras here this year, but that might have been last year's. It looks chalked. Yeah, that's last year's.
No way. That must have been after we were here.
Yeah, could have been. But if I'd have ran cameras that year, I bet this thing was somehow attached to that deer's head. Because why else would this be right here? Unless he's sitting there playing with it.
Well, yeah. I mean, look. It looks like it had some kind of a hook or something on it that it could have got his antler wrapped up in too. I wonder if this came from her house or something.
Mm-hmm. Or it could have been like that. But even then, that would come off.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, that's the crocodile antler. That is so cool. Huh. There we go.
Carry this trash up.
There's the number 3 today. That's so reassuring because this farm has sometimes been beat on this farm before, so it's nice to actually find these, you know. Well, I think I left the GoPro at the truck because I went to pull it out and I didn't have it in my backpack. So I'm filming this with my phone, but I just came upon another one here today. There we go, little guy. It might be the other side of the one I found earlier. Let's hope it's not, but if it is, cool. Well, I just met back up with Daniel. He found one. Let's go, man. Yeah, look at that thing. Pick that sucker up. Let's go.
Is it the other half? No.
I don't think so.
No.
It almost looks like the side off that one, the crocodile shed. It almost looks like that deer from this year.
Yeah.
So we got 2. We're getting to a good spot here. Just came upon another one right here. We are in the hot spot. Maybe it's just good luck not having my GoPro. But right there, we got another itty bitty one. think it's at the truck. That's this year's. Let's go. Got another itty bitty one. That means there's a couple itty bitties to find and 2 decent ones to find. Well, we're just going back and forth. Daniel's finding one, I'm finding one, and he just found one after I found that one. That's a nice one, man. And that's another left side, so I think that's off a different deer.
Yeah.
So we got 3 decent antlers to be finding right now.
We do.
Let's go. Well, I just found an old one here. Banana. Look at this.
Oh yeah, that's real old. Not much left.
I say it's worth counting.
Counter if you should.
Here you go. Daniel just found one here. That's this year's for sure. Okay, we're in the right spot. I don't think that's a question anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I just came up on another itty bitty one here. Walking down along this fence line. And there it is. Must have been a big fighter there. Busted it off. Well, it just came down here along that edge of this pasture, close to where we found that side, and it looks like we just matched them up. Here we go. How about it? And then, if that isn't enough, I'm sitting here, I'm on my way walking up to it, and he's got a friend over here. Look at that. That's this year's. That's chewed pretty bad already, though. That's crazy how close they drop to each other.
And that one isn't chewed.
That one's not chewed at all, and then this one's like slammed.
Finish that one first.
Wow. So I think that makes 12 in the day. That's a hell of a day right there. Go. We're checking one last spot here, a spot that we didn't even check last year, and I'm glad we did because I just came up on one. This looks like an old one, and I know exactly what deer that's off of. I found his side last year. I found his other side last year. Huh. Damn, I wish I had hit this spot last year, because that's definitely the other side of that split brow tine 7-point that I found last year. I'm gonna guess he's around this year. Been one to find. We don't got much left to look, but I'm really happy we found that, considering I found his side last year. I mean, it was a really nice antler last year. This is a really nice antler. It's not chewed that bad. Totally, no question about it. This is off that deer. Hopefully, with this little bit that we have left, maybe we'll get lucky and find a shed off of him from this year. But I didn't run cameras here this year, so I don't know if he's still around. I'm completely pleased with the output that we've had today. So we're making it to just the very last stretch of timber here. That's a great, man. I'll actually be surprised if we find one here. I've never found one in this last stretch. And then we're gonna pack up and head home for the day. Look at this. All these itty bitty things. Is there any more itty bitties? One more itty bitty. That's a good day, huh?
That is a pretty good day.
Alright, I'm gonna call it quits for a day. Well, just when I thought shed hunting was done, I was doing some TSI work here after work. Came down and found a shed off of a really cool looking young buck here, huh? Look at how small that pedicle is. And then look at the character it's got on it. That's really neat. You don't see that very often. So there's another shed for this year, huh? Not even when I'm shed hunting. I'm after work here. It's a rainy day, so this is a perfect day to come out and look, especially on this farm that we're at right now, because there's a lot of open timber. And what I'm doing is I've already checked this farm for sheds earlier this year, but I also was looking for a deadhead, and apparently I missed it because I just found it down in this creek bottom. I walked by like 2 or 3 times. It's pretty crazy that I missed it, but I think it's a lot easier to see right now because of the rain and how everything is laying out here in the woods. So anyways, let's check it out. Oh, hopefully I don't hurt myself here. Holy cow, look at this thing. Holy smoke. Wow, check this thing out. Holy cow. That is a stud. Unbelievable mass. Check out the mass there between the 2 and the 3 and the 1 and the 2 here. Holy cow. So unfortunate. This is 100% the same buck that the landowner had pictures of that he was sending me. That's definitely the biggest deadhead from this year. He's got 3 brow tines on one side, 2 on the other. Really big mass there between the 2 and the 3. He's got 3 flyers off his G2 right there. Big split G2 over here with a flyer. And I definitely think this deer died to EHD. You can see he's just out of velvet with how his tips are, that tip's nubbed off right there. Same with this one. That deer definitely died to EHD. You know, it's good to close the book because the landowner didn't have pictures of him after the summer, and now he'll know what's happened to it. But that is an unbelievable deer. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So that's the second 17 point that we have found this year. I think this one's probably gonna score bigger than the other one. And this one to me definitely is more impressive. You hate to see it. Mother Nature has really shown what she's capable of this year. But it'll just make things more rewarding when you find sheds off of a deer like this to realize how long it takes for something like that to happen. So that's gonna end the shed season here for 2024. It was an absolutely phenomenal year for what I expected. You know, going into this year, I thought it was gonna be the worst year that we ever had, but we were able to hit our goal of 100. And even though, you know, if you asked me like a year ago from now, the goal probably would have been 200 coming into this year. There's just circumstances that we couldn't control that, you know, adjust that. So EHD sucks, but at the end of the day, we still had a blast. We found 120 antlers, and you can't be disappointed with that. And for anybody else who's like me and likes to find a lot of sheds, don't forget that we sell shed tags. They are a great thing to use, especially if you find a lot of sheds like this. Like, I record where I found it, what year I found it, the score, whether there's a match set with it. And so when I store these antlers, I'll always be able to have that traceability with them. That's why shed tags are great. I sell them on my website, extremeelementoutdoors.com. You can find the link in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed this season. Also, go check out my new business, Cat Tracks Gear. I'll be I'll be super busy with that in the upcoming weeks. My mouth has been watering to get back to building some of these awesome climbing sticks. The Cat Tracks Commandos, they are the lightest climbing stick on the market. So you want to make sure you go check those out. I'll have a lot of good content coming on that as well. So thank you guys so much for watching throughout the season, and make sure to stay tuned for more to come.